usually does the tip. And it will be the Wildcats who control, going right to left on your screen. Jackson matches up with Martin. Right into it, it's Alex Pledger over the top of Matty Knight, pokes it away. Wildcats ball.
Great sign for Alex Pledger to be aggressive right off the bat defensively. You can already see in warm-ups that this Breakers team's locked in, and that's proof of it right there.
12 on the shot clock. Redditch cutting to the hoop. 2 points, tough finger roll by Sean Redditch.
Excellent finish over to the defenders. Real ability to score in any way, shape, or form for Sean Redditch.
Kona is looking for someone. Hands it off to Jackson. Single digits on the shot clock. Kona goes at Redditch. And it will be a foul on Sean Redditch. Drop the elbow. The people's shoulder into Mikavakona. Picks up the first.
Well, that might be the first one of the game, but it's certainly not going to be the last. These two guys are going to play physically against each other and really bang it, especially when they get the ball against one another in the post.
Darrell. Call that out to Pledger. Front ends it in the rim. And Perth have the rebound, and it's Redditch into the key and out. Matty Knight on the weak side with the rebound. Big advantage, 77-47. Perth Wildcats in those two games over the Breakers. Rebounding a real issue for New Zealand against Perth. As Matty Knight shows his skills. He has all sorts of tricks in his bag.
Well, talk about a good sign. Hitting that fadeaway right off the bat. Matty Knight shows a deft shooting touch.
And Perth with the early 4-0 lead, 8:45 to go. Early days yet in this game. Plenty of beautiful passes. Tom Abercrombie just couldn't get up. He's lost a shoe. Redditch, Martin, I've never seen Tom Abercrombie unable to elevate like that as he blew a tire in his brand new shoes. The Nikes failed him on that point.
Oh, don't blame the footwear. It can't be the footwear. Got to tie that one up a little bit tighter, but Thomas Abercrombie, fantastic backdoor look by Mikavakona. Just comes up a wee bit short. Couldn't quite get it. Lost the shoe on the landing, I believe, and oh, that was a bit of a hanging. I think Tommy's just used to jumping high. He always expects to be above the rim.
It's time the shoes back up, waiting for Tom Abercrombie. In other sports, they just keep playing.
It's true. In the NBA, you lose a shoe, you just have to go with the sock for a while. But I like that the league over here has the players' health and interest a little bit more at heart.
Absolutely, especially Tom Abercrombie, who's had league issues after that fall here at Vector Arena against Townsville. He's come right lately, though. He's had some big games for the Breakers. 9 to shoot. And it is Abercrombie on the baseline, spinning, fading. In and out. Redditch with the rebound, looking to run at the Perth Wildcats. They really do like to push it. It's not the prettiest basketball you'll see from the Wildcats tonight, but it will be good basketball, and the crowd don't like the foul call. And it's good to hear the crowd at Vector Arena. 9,157. Every single seat is sold tonight.
Well, look at this. Matty Knight in no man's land, had nothing to do. I have no idea why that foul's called. He just lost the ball. You can see even Matty Knight was surprised that foul was called.
Jackson with the steal. Over half court. Into the key around Lish. Oh, and he can't get it to finish. Redditch to Lish now. To 3-on-2. Lish into the paint. Gives it up to Martin, and Mikavakona fouls him hard.
Well, good foul by the Breakers. Don't want to give another bucket up. Already down 6-0, and tonight is the exact opposite of a week ago for the Breakers. Just cannot find the bucket. Has some fantastic looks, but not be able to get it home.
Yeah, Andre Lemanis doesn't like the start he's seen from the Breakers. He calls a timeout. With 2 minutes and 18 seconds gone in the first quarter, and the Breakers looking for a bucket.
Looking high and low. Where are they going to find it? They've had some good looks, but just unable to finish.
All right, and then we go on the boards, and here comes Redditch, and he's busted out, and we're at numbers disadvantage straight away. All right, we've got to slow the thing, so Mix, if you can't get it, stay in front of it. All right, stay in front of them. We've just got to slow the ball down right now. They're just running on us. And then the next part of it is box outs. All right, we've got to come up with all that stuff.
Here we go.
We're all right. We're all right. You know, there's going to be games of runs. We've just got to take care of that. That's the biggest one right now. Offensively, we're finding that if they go to that zone, go with some runner, good punch screen and driving off that and keep getting in the rim. That's all good stuff for us. But take care of the D-trans right now. Be ready for press break. Get that good circle. Again, if we get that kick ahead, drive it, 5 man on the rim, look to be aggressive on that, and then get the ball moving. Here we go, boys. 1, 2, 3.
Catch one with the winner on. Go to the merchandise stand at the end of half time. So catch one with winner.
So Rob Beveridge and Andre Lamanis going over what their two teams need to do in this first quarter, and Perth are tracking well. They're getting out and running, and it really is imposing their will on the game. The Perth Wildcats do it so well. They really take a team out of their offense, take a team out of their structure that they're comfortable with.
Well, you can't find a team that plays harder than the Perth Wildcats. Some other teams may say we play just as hard as them, but the effort they put forth every time on the basketball court is just fantastic. And when they take that effort, they use it on the defensive end, and they do an excellent job of turning those defensive stops into buckets on the other side with some great transition basketball.
Damien Martin makes the second as here comes that trapping full court press of the Perth Wildcats, and Breakers handled it. Not too intense at the moment as Jackson backs in Lish. 2 MVP candidates there. 3 Wildcats around Daryl Corletto and Jackson in the corner. 7 on the shot clock. Inside to Pledger with brilliant position. And he really did have his way.
Well, the Wildcats got a little mixed up defensively. Alex Pledger takes care of the mismatch underneath on Greg Hire.
And that is the first bucket for the Breakers tonight, Greg Hire. And oh no, Mika McConnor has picked up his second. He's tripped over Sean Redditch. And that comes Dylan Boucher off the bench.
Well, the Perth Wildcats beneficiaries of a couple of trying calls. There you see Mika McConnor gets just a little bit tied up on the feet. I don't know exactly why that's a foul on Mika. I guess because his foot was in the wrong spot before Sean Redditch put it there. But he did trip, I suppose, because of Mika McConnell's foot. So there comes the call, I guess.
Redditch gives it to Lish. Double teamed, trapped in the corner. Manages to get it out as High gives it to Redditch, who cuts to the rim, and Dylan Boucher put his hand through the hoop. And that will be a goaltend, of course. And so the lead is now 7 for the Wildcats. 9-2. And whose ball is that? And it came off Dylan's shoe, apparently. So the Wildcats getting all the breaks at the moment.
But they're creating the breaks. They're creating the breaks with effort on the defensive end. Crisp passing offensively, excellent cuts, and right now they look like a team that's locked in. And the Breakers can't really get that offensive stroke going.
Redditch, he is starting hot. Sean Redditch with a 3. 7 points of the 12. Is Jackson pushing it. Corletto, corner ball. No good. Abercrombie almost had it. And Sean Redditch is out to the races to Matty Knight. Back to Redditch, back to Knight. Beautiful basketball from the Perth Wildcats. 14-2, they're up huge.
Well, it's a layup drill for the Wildcats right now. Everything they're throwing up is going in. 7 rebounds for the Wildcats, none for the Breakers. That tells you the story of the game right now.
Yeah, and if it's not going in, they're getting the rebounds. And the sarcastic cheer from the Breakers crowd as a foul is finally called on the Wildcats.
If you're the Breakers, you got to be a little concerned, though. They've got good looks. They can't get a go. The Wildcats playing as well as they possibly can right now. And they're extending this lead, 12 points early in the basketball game, and starting to deja vu all over again for the Breakers.
Well, crucially, that was Sean Redditch's second foul, so he takes a seat. It takes the hot hand out of the game for the Wildcats. And Hudson and Bruton are in the game for the Breakers. 6 to shoot. Jackson bangs in a 3.
Well, if nobody else is going to shoot it, Cedric Jackson says, well, I might as well. And he hit that one from deep, a great sign for him.
6 of 25 in the year. In the new year for Cedric Jackson from deep. So reassuring signs for him that his outside touch, which came to the fore at the beginning of the season, may just be back as higher. To Martin, who shoots a 3. It's Matty Knight who gets another rebound. Lish with Hudson on him, mismatch. Lish with the moves, step back. Good D by Will Hudson as Jackson pulls down the board. Over half court, gives it to Abercrombie, he'll go up and he dunks it this time. The shoe stays on. The Breakers get into their fast break.
Well, that's what you do when you fall off a horse. You get right back on it. Thomas Abercrombie gets the easy dunk off a nice pass that time.
Matty Knight fighting for position with Will Hudson. This will be a good matchup. Knight with a hook shot. Too strong, but look at Damian Martin. Skies to pull down that board.
And Cedric Jackson, looking a little bit early to transition, has to block Damian Martin out first.
Big Jesse Wagstaff sets the screen, and Dylan Boucher will pick up the personal foul.
The Perth Wildcats right now are all over the offensive glass, just attacking it relentlessly. Matty Knight, one of the leaders in that category. 4 opportunities. Here we see a little too aggressive from Dylan Boucher, really coming into Kevin Lish, but the Perth Wildcats just aren't fazed by that physical contact.
Jeremiah Truman in the game, 14 fouls as Matty Knight takes a seat. Lish now picks up the offensive load. Damian Martin cleans up his miss, but it's Cedric Jackson who ultimately gets the board. Looking for running mates, and beautifully done by Cedric Jackson.
Well, he could see Jeremiah Truman coming from about 3 miles away because of the brightness of those shoes.
Yeah,
You're not
they
going
are
to sneak
bright.
up on anybody with those bad boys.
And Truman picks up the foul. I don't know why the crowd was booing. They got another foul call.
And you see Damian Martin with another offensive rebound. Cedric Jackson scraps it out of his hands. Jeremiah Truman.
Maybe they want him. Maybe they want him ejected.
I just don't think they like the contact against Cedric Jackson. They don't want to see him on the ground.
Oh, you can't touch the Breakers apparently. It's Boucher now. Turns it over. Wagstaff with the ball. Looks up. Everard Bartlett to Lish. Reece Carter also in the game. He has the ball. He's just checked back into the NBL just recently. 2 years in Sweden. Carter, left-hand dribble to Wagstaff. Drops it off. Truman. Nice move by Jeremiah Truman.
The rarely seen fadeaway hook shot. But Jeremiah Truman, such a hard worker. He's always going to put himself in the right spot. And that time he was in the right place at the right time to get that little hookie.
Coming up to 3:49 to go in this first quarter. The Breakers down 16-7 as Abercrombie pulls in the pass. The lob connection not quite there as Bruton into the key. Hammered. And that'll be a shot clock violation. CJ Bruton has every right to ask where the foul call was on that, as Andre Lamanis asked the same question.
There's a lot of contact on that one. As you can hear, Andre Lamanis complaining about it ever so slightly.
Leon Henry in the game. Abercrombie takes a seat. It's the bench players with Cedric Jackson at the point. Breakers dropping back into a zone. Now a bit of man. Bartlett outside to Carter with a deep three. Front of the rim. Leon Henry pulls down the board, and it'll be Dylan Boucher bringing the ball up. Hands it off to Jackson. Nice cut. Jackson in between 2 Wildcats. And another foul call down low on the Wildcats. Will it be on Truman or Wagstaff? And it will be on Jesse Wagstaff.
Well, there you see Dylan Boucher loses the basketball, which creates an offensive opportunity in the back door for Cedric Jackson. The Perth Wildcats playing very physically. They're going to, looks like right now their strategy is we're going to foul you on every play because the officials are not going to be able to call it. Just playing that hard-nosed Perth basketball that they've been known for years.
Cedric Jackson just airballed a free throw.
Looks like he used up most of his shooting touch on that deep 3 on his first attempt. And maybe the air ball will even it out.
This is the time where the commentator pulls out the free throw stats for Cedric Jackson, and it's 55%. And he's on around about his average there.
It really makes no sense that he shoots 55%. He's got a reasonable looking shot. There's no real flaws in it, especially from the free throw line. Decent form. But for some reason, he must have some kind of mental block up there.
Breakers shooting 64% on the season from the free throw line. Not hot at all as Bartlett. He begins to heat up. His first bucket is a 3.
The former high flyer turns into a 3-point threat. He's worked extremely hard for many years on that jump shot, and now rather probably shoot that three than drive to the basket.
It's Michael Aylen and Dylan Boucher discussing the finer points. And CJ Bruton finally got that call on Jeremiah Truman.
Well, that's the aggressiveness defensively.
And that's his second.
Well, he's going to get some fouls. He's out there to play physical, put his body on people, and wear the heck out of that mustache/sideburn combo. He's doing it. Jeremiah Truman is doing it.
Consider it brung by Jeremiah Truman on the facial hair front as Bruton at the line for the Breakers. Well, that's 2 on Truman, 2 on Redditch, and Matty Knight sitting down. The front line not particularly tall for the Wildcats. Bruton makes a second, but the effort can not be questioned.
Well, to be fair, I still think the Wildcats front line is taller than the Breakers, though.
Wagstaff. No good, and Hudson pulls down the board. Webster. Corey Webster, that is. Bruton inside to Hudson, double teamed. Lost the handle, and Boucher gets it. Too strong off the glass, but Will Hudson's there to clean it up.
Well, the Breakers fighting their way back into this game and doing it with offensive rebounds and hustle. Timely offense that time from Hudson with a nice little tip.
So Webster on Martin. Wagstaff, he hits another three. And the Perth Wildcats, 3 of 6 from deep.
Well, the Wildcats very aggressive offensively from behind the arc right now. If they're getting the open look, they're taking it.
22-12, the Wildcats lead as Boucher gives it to Hudson. Wagstaff fell down, so nice interior passing. A real feature of the Breakers this season.
Well, the Breakers will have to keep attacking this defense with movement like they did these last 2 possessions to continue to be successful.
Carter throws it back, and Martin has to track it down. It will be an over and back on the Wildcats. 22-14 they lead, though. 2 turnovers apiece for the Breakers and Wildcats.
The two turnovers, quite low for these 2 teams with the type of defensive pressure that they both put on when they play against each other. Their turnovers for each team normally goes up quite a bit based on their regular season averages.
36.5 in the 2 games combined. This is a lot in a 40-minute game. Sign of good defense, nerves, combination as Webster swishes a 3 from deep.
Corey Webster's never met a jumper that he didn't like. And he takes that one with confidence off the screen and pass from Dylan Boucher.
Cuts the deficit to 5. It's a turnover. Boucher poked away by Jesse Wagstaff. That is good defense by Wagstaff.
That is excellent defense. And Dylan Boucher tried to put his foot on the gas pedal, just didn't have that higher gear. Jesse Wagstaff able to reach in from behind and knock it away. Fantastic transition defense, but still Breaker ball.
Reese Carter will take a seat. Lish back in the game. Carter signed up when Brad Robbins, bench player, and retired mid-season.
And he is an excellent pickup, has some championship experience with the South Dragons and a very passable backup point guard.
Leon Henry can't get it. Matty Knight is back in the game and pulls down the board. Bartlett, long pass to Lish, goes straight at Webster. That is good basketball by the Wildcats.
They just turn offense from defense so quickly. They just get the pass, toss it up, find the open man, and they're down there in a flash.
Foul on the baseline. And that'll be on Matty Knight. And that is a shooting foul as Wildcats, and the penalty, 24-17.
Well, this first quarter has had all the physicality you could expect or want from the basketball game, and the Breakers have withstood that first torrent from the Perth Wildcats to fight their way back into it and keep it a pretty tight affair. Only down 7 points after that missed free throw.
Hudson misses the first 64% on the season. It's probably the one category that the Breakers don't have anyone in the top 10 in, except for Daryl Corletto, who's shooting 91%, which is first in the league.
Oh, only 91.
But Daryl Corletto doesn't really get to the line a whole lot.
My guess is that's, what is that, 9 for 11, 9 for 11 maybe? I don't know.
I'm glad you asked, Casey. It's 21 from 23.
Oh, never mind. He gets the line heaps.
A lot. Although the Breakers record will suggest that he gets there twice a game. Martin. Rebound. And that'll do it for the first quarter. An excellent quarter for the Perth Wildcats. They've shown in 10 early straight from the tip-off. They lead 24-18 after one.
Well, they came out fired up, offensively ready to play basketball, aggressive in all facets of the game, and really took it straight to the Breakers. But the Breakers took those shots, wore a couple punches on the face, and turned it around to claw their way back into the basketball game.
Right, so I mean, right now it's fine. You've chosen to go there. Actually look to stop, and these guys are behind.
Here's some entertainment. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube or on some sports shows, but guy won 75K at a Miami Heat game, and she almost got something there. The guy won it and got a hug from LeBron James, so she's now got a chance to hit a three-point shot. Now she's at the free throw line.
Well, it's always exciting to watch the free throws go up. Oh, just a bit short.
Just a little short.
Coming closer, right into the layup. Here we go, mystery prize if you can make the basket. There we go.
And she makes the layup.
For the mystery prize, I just need you to close your eyes. Keep your eyes closed, you know? Keep your eyes closed.
And now it seems Emma here has got her eyes closed.
Open your eyes, Emma.
And I believe we have a proposal.
Well, that is a brave move, proposing in red pants.
She said, yes, I will go and get the beers at halftime for you. $9,155 people.
That's how you spell romance. A big crowd.
Back to the basketball.
Oh, we just like the soap opera stuff here.
You can keep the hand as well. Congratulations, Ben and Emma.
Thomas Abercrombie couldn't find the leisure early, but that started off the Perth Wildcats fast breaks, what they're doing fantastically with. Maddie Knight with a pretty fadeaway over the right shoulder. Sean Redditch off the cuts of the basket, and strong cuts from everywhere for the Wildcats. Unselfish basketball, scoring on the fast break. Everybody finding the range early. They just couldn't be stopped. And it's just an unselfish basketball team out there supporting each other. No egos whatsoever, just everybody getting a chance to touch the basketball and put it in the hoop.
That is such a good point. The Perth Wildcats, they don't really care how they score. They don't really care who scores. They just want to outscore you.
And they do a pretty good job at that.
Yes, they do. Second best record in the league. Behind the Breakers. They played 3 more games as the Kona. Strong move, but couldn't finish it. 24-18. Second quarter underway at Victor Arena. It's Lish left alone at the top of the key. The foul line. And Kevin Lish, the left-handed
that is
jump
just
shot is
so
good.
Pretty, so pretty. Just a little step back. It doesn't look like much, but just freezes the defense at the free throw line, creates so much space for him, and he just drains it from 15.
You can't leave him open like that, can you, Casey? Webster. Webster with a contested jump shot. That's a 2.
Well, there's another guy who's looking like he's heating up a little bit. Players are tying it tough to hit the rim. All they want is a net up there.
Maddie Knight in the high post, back to Redditch. The Breakers will get the ball back. Yes, tonight you and Dennis talked about it pre-game, but this game is big in the standings because the Breakers will get us even more separation than they have at the moment, but also they need it because the points differential is plus 46 in the favor of the Wildcats as Bruton tried to sell that foul. And the referee has bought it hook, line, and sinker.
And we have a little conversation from the Breaker bench as well. I believe Chris, the equipment manager for the Breakers, had something to say to Sean Redditch afterwards, but C.J. Bruton with that head fake, it's just so convincing. I'm sure I've bought it once or twice. I don't know anybody who hasn't bought that head fake once or twice, and CJ's having a little bit of a laugh at it now, but even though you know it's coming, you know he's going to head fake. It's just so difficult not to do it.
The 37-year-old misses the first. Started to hit some big threes down the stretch for the Breakers in this 9-game winning streak as Matty Knight can do nothing but smile.
Well, we know CJ is playing for the postseason. He's at a certain age where he has to work his body into shape. He has to manage it to get the most he can out of it during the entire season. And with about 3/4 of the season done for the Breakers, he's really coming into the home stretch like an aging thoroughbred on that last turn. He knows exactly what he needs to do to get the most out of what he has.
He's fired up at training. He chewed out Daryl Corletto, called a foul. Foudy was fouled as well, and intensity starting to ramp up. They all know how important these games down the stretch are. There's Martin with Jackson has checked in for Bruton on him. Corey Webster getting extended minutes in the first half. Mismatch, Lish and Pledger. Lish with the shot clock expiring, and Matty Knight gets another rebound.
Well, somebody's just going to have to turn and force him off the block.
To Hire, beautiful look by Matty Knight in the post. To a cutting Greg Hire. And the lead is back to 6. 14-6 is the rebound advantage the Wildcats are enjoying.
Well, you see a blocking foul there, but so impressed with the way the Wildcats cut off the basketball. When the ball's in the post or it's on the perimeter, the weak side is always moving. That last time, Matt Knight got the offensive rebound. Greg Hire didn't sit around the perimeter or wait for the kick out. He cuts straight to the open spot and receives a pass, gets 2 points for his effort. And that movement off the basketball is just so difficult to defend. If you're whizzing the ball out around the perimeter, it's going to create open shots.
Absolutely, as the Wildcats pushed out right on the perimeter against the Breakers. Greg Hire picked up that personal foul. Webster, skip pass to Henry inside to Pledger, 6 to shoot. The big man around Matty Knight, the soft touch, the flat little hook shot.
Well,
steal by Cedric Jackson, who goes over the scorer's bench.
Whoa! Hopefully he's okay. Little the worse for wear.
He is a little worse for wear at the moment. He's taken a long time to get back into the action as Mika Vakona took about 4 steps, but he gets the bucket, no travel called. And Cedric Jackson is back into it.
A 4-on-5 possession there for the Breakers, and the Wildcats still unable to contain the dribble.
Martin gets around the defender. It's Mika Vakona. Tough drive by Damian Martin, the boomer, with another 2.
So difficult to contain when he's decided to go to the basket. Doesn't look to score a lot, but when he does, he's not too bad at it.
2 of 4 for his 5 points. Jackson, 6 to shoot. Leon Henry in the corner. That's good. Leon Henry is dangerous from that corner. So is Daryl Corletto.
Leon Henry struggled with his playing time early in the season, but he's really filled into this role, getting a few more offensive looks, and he's really become an important cog off the bench for the Breakers.
Cuts the lead to 1 for the Wildcats. Wagstaff. Martin again with a tough drive. Damian Martin gets to the cup again.
And finishes with the offhand, the nice little right-handed finger roll. Back-to-back layups, showing a bit of offensive prowess himself.
A rare backcourt in basketball, 2 lefties. Jackson now goes at Lish, spins around Matty Knight. Oh, the bag of tricks of Cedric the Entertainer is out.
Spin cycle. That was lightning quick on the 360.
Higher, regathers, Wagstaff, up fake. Lish over Webster. Oh, Kevin Lish with a teardrop 3.
Well, scrambling defense from the Breakers. We're able to get a hand up, but that's just not good enough for the shooter as talented as Kevin Lish.
The look away by Jackson gets it back. Pledger bobbled it. Jackson will shoot a 3. Mika Vakona crashes the glass. Gets bumped. Henry feeling it. 3-ball. Whistle on the baseline.
That's going to be a T on Mika Vakona, would be my guess. There you go.
Yeah, it is. There's Boucher, Corletto, and Abercrombie check in for the Breakers. And Mika Vakona picks up the tee.
Andre Lamatis doesn't like it, but Mika Vakona felt like there was a bit too much contact on the bottom. Picks up his 3rd foul, which is really, really important for the Perth Wildcats to get off. As we see Mika Vakona on the bench, not happy about that, but In this physical game, the referees are letting them play a little bit more. In the normal regular season game, that kind of contact might get you the whistle blown, but not tonight. This is being treated as finals basketball, and these two teams are playing like it, and these officials are officiating like it.
Lish makes both as Vacona sits. Leon Henry and Corey Webster also take a seat. And it'll be Abercrombie, Jackson, Boucher, Corletto, and Pledger for the Breakers.
Perth really substituting liberally here, keeping those guys fresh for that second half and getting good production out of their bench, as are the Breakers.
Ben Purser in the game for the Wildcats. Bartlett, Lish, Truman, and Hire. Bartlett, the Kiwi, with Abercrombie on him. Truman is a Kiwi as well. From the Naki. Abercrombie tied up. And Jackson now over half court. Into the contact. Blocking foul is called on the baseline.
So much contact on the other end. Everybody fighting for the basketball. Coming back here, contact more. Cedric Jackson being forced off the dribble, dribbles in, gets a hip check, sent to the floor, and neither team backing down. I love this physical basketball. It's just so much fun to watch when two teams stand up to each other. Nobody takes a backward step, and they're playing to win, and they're playing hard.
It's exactly the way we expected this game to go. To start off, Perth have been shooting the lights out. So have the Breakers. 55 for them, 54 for Perth from the field as Jackson's at the line now. Ben Purser picked up that personal. Rolls in for Jackson. Jackson has 7 points, 2 assists and 2 rebounds to go along with 2 steals. Makes the second. Just need to get his eye in a bit earlier.
Finds the free throw range. Going to be difficult to contain if he's going to hit those.
Midway second quarter, Breakers 33, Perth Wildcats in the lead 37. Lish. Fade away. Who wants it? It's Purser. High up.
These Wildcats, everybody has a nose for the basketball on the offensive glass. Purser out of nowhere to connect on.
Lish with all the moves as Bartlett has it. Bartlett over Boucher. Daryl Corletto fighting for the rebound, but it's Boucher who picks it up. Jackson. To Corletto. 3 ball. Is good. Daryl Corletto. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Well, there's opportunities in transition when a team offensive rebounds like the Wildcats do, and that time the Breakers were able to take advantage of it.
3 championships, 2 with Melbourne, 1 last season with the Breakers. At 3, cuts the lead to 1 for the Wildcats. Turnover. Lish is down. And Corletto dials it in for another triple. That's the lead for the Breakers, 39-37.
And a timely timeout by Rob Beveridge. He should know when Daryl Corletto heats up, he heats up in a hurry. Back-to-back threes, you want to put a cap back on that jumper. But right now, the crowd is into it as the Breakers find the lead for the first time tonight.
Back-to-back triples for Daryl Corletto has given the Breakers the lead.
And Daryl Corletto with a lightning-quick release, just a quick dribble, catch and shoot. The ball is barely in his hands before he releases it, and that's just so devastating. You don't have to be able to jump 1,000,000 feet in the air to get your shot off. If you have that kind of quickness in your release, so difficult to guard, and he has found his form as of late, and on fire for show.
And if you want to join in the conversation, the hashtag is NZBVPER and use the handle SkySportNZ.
This one here, we're blitzed 2.
Easy to say, NZBVPER. You're pretty good at this commentating stuff.
This reading thing, this reading lark.
Is that what it's called?
Whenever listed, you 4 guys can switch whenever listed all the eyeballs. No, blitz one time here, and then we go back to hustle. You do what you're doing. 1, 2, 3.
3
minutes 50 to go in the half. Breakers 39, Perth Wildcats 37. And Rob Beveridge, yeah, like you said, Casey, did not want to see Daryl Corletto get another open look. The Breakers can get on big runs.
Well, excellent use of the timeout, really nipping that run in the bud. Doesn't want it too much momentum. He saw that crowd get excited. It got real loud in here real quick. And just an excellent use of the timeout to shut the crowd back down, see if they can't get a bucket.
These two teams with the only winning records in the league, they are a class above as Truman battling down low, pulls down the Matty Knight miss.
And just attacking the offensive glass, really dominating the Breakers in that facet of the game right now. Bartlett
jab steps on Corletto, clears some room. Still way out, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Knight to higher. Knight at the post. 2 to shoot. Good double team. Oh, Matty Knight. He is an absolute clutch veteran.
He just has so many moves in the post. Can go to the left shoulder, go to the right, has the fadeaway. That time we see the little half hook. Fantastic arsenal in the low post area.
Battling with Will Hudson in the key. Boucher finds Tom Abercrombie all alone. He drops another 3. 3 straight triples for the Breakers.
Well, misread defensively there. You don't need to show that much on Dylan Boucher. All he wants to do is pass. And that time, option view created to pass to Thomas Abercrombie.
Corletto scrambling for it with Bartlett, who tied him up. Jump ball, and it will be, I should say, Perth ball with the possession arrow in favor of the visitors.
And that's the kind of hustle that both these teams are known for. Daryl Corletto straight onto the ground once the basketball's there. Very even game right now. Those Wild. Here we see Dylan Boucher with a clever pass around the defense. Hand up too late. Also there you see Daryl Corletto fighting for the basketball against Everard Bartlett. Both guys have a hand on it. Stays Wildcat basketball.
Breakers shooting 61%, 6 of 9 from deep in the half. Martin, Jackson. Reese Carter on Abercrombie. Shot clock awareness was not there from Perth.
Yeah. On that jump ball situation, the shot clock gets reset at 14, not 24. So they had a limited amount of time to get the basketball up and on the rim and weren't able to do it.
Sean Redditch still sits for the Wildcats. He's got 7 points, but 3 fouls. Jackson to Corletto, who left him alone. They called a break, whoever it was. Jackson. Hard to the hoop, it gets 2.
And he's looking pretty determined offensively tonight. Last couple of weeks, he's really been looking to facilitate for others. Tonight, he's trying to score.
Breakers now with a 5-point advantage. They've weathered the storm as Jackson pokes the ball away from Knight, but it will be Perth Wildcat ball on the baseline with 11 to shoot, Casey, with under 2 to go.
The Breakers have to give Matty Knight extra attention down there. You can't guard him, or at least the Breakers can't guard him one-on-one. Have to show him up a little bit.
Foul away from the ball. And that will be on Jesse Wagstaff, who set the shoulder too hard, leaned in, picks up the personal. That is a backbreaker for Rob Beveridge on the bench, head coach of the Wildcats.
Well, I think the Wildcats pretty much purposely set really aggressive screens because you're not going to get that call a lot. And when you do, you still got a free shot.
Jackson to Abercrombie, lays it up and in. And Tom Abercrombie doing the business. 7 points for him. Breakers lead is now 7.
And the Breakers getting something done in transition now.
Reese Carter, air ball. It's Corletto. Just couldn't pull it in.
Oof. Reese Carter. Maybe somebody left the door open out the back. Wow, they got a little wind stream coming in.
Welcome to Victor Arena. And the Breakers now take time to talk about it with 1:36 to go in this first half. And just like that in the second quarter, they have really turned the screws on, the Perth Wildcats, and have started to hit the shots that they need.
Well, they've turned it around with defense first and turned it into offense, mostly with transition basketball, but they've had a couple of looks from 3 and been able to hit those as well.
And then if it comes in, we're in hustle for this possession. All right, we're in hustle for this possession. Keep contesting. Offensively, great job breaking pressure. No problems with that. Next time we're in a walk-up situation, go with Tex down. All right, they've got their little group in. Have a look at Tommy there. Zone or man, I don't care, because if he comes back to the zone, you end up screening your own as he comes and then stepping through. Okay?
Well, chapter 2 of this game is Daryl Corletto hitting on the fast break. Little head fake, one dribble to the left and pull up with a quick shot. Dylan Boucher found him on the break as well. Catch and shoot. So quick. Dylan Boucher finding Thomas Abercrombie as well. And the triple. What a weapon for the Breakers. Brings them back to the front. And able to find a little bit of breathing space against the Wildcats here with a 7-point lead with just 1:36 to go in the second quarter.
There's Wildcats ball on the baseline. And they have 8 to shoot. The minute 30 to go. Carter finds Lish. 2 to shoot over Boucher. It's Corletto. We've got the rebound and Boucher puts it up for Will Hudson off the backboard. And Cedric Jackson gets the ball. They caught a break as Abercrombie. In and out. Lish fires it to Martin. Wagstaff. That drops, and that's a 3. Jesse Wagstaff cuts the lead to 4 for the Breakers.
Well, both teams are playing excellent half-court defense right now, so there's opportunities in transition before the defenders get set. And that's where both teams are finding their most successful offense at the moment.
Boucher directing traffic from up high, and Jackson has it at the top. It's Abercrombie. Fights off Kevin Lish. Almost got the turnover. Jackson. Oh my goodness, that's from the car park.
That was deep.
Holy hell. Carter. He misses. Wagstaff's down. Pull up, Cedric. Pull up.
Well, he's in his range now, apparently.
49-42. Shot clock differential. There's 5 seconds for Cedric Jackson and the Breakers. The Perth Wildcats should get the ball back. Jackson with 2 to shoot. Bear rolls in at the buzzer of the shot clock. 2 to shoot for the Wildcats. Martin with the runner. Good if it goes. It doesn't. Cedric Jackson just took over at the end of the half. And the Breakers have a double-digit lead as they head into the changing shed at Victor Arena in front of 9,157. They lead 52 to 42.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Sky City Chiefs.
They are super pumped for the second half. 20 minutes of basketball. It is a playoff atmosphere between these two teams who played in the grand final series in 2012.
Well, this is the same court that the finals were contested on. This crowd's got the energy going. The Breakers are feeling good. The Wildcats, they withstood a bit of a run. I'd like to see them bounce back the same way the Breakers did after that first quarter.
Underway in the third quarter. Cedric Jackson with the hot hand. He leads all scorers with 16. Boucher starting in place of Mika Vakona in the second half. Abercrombie spins and fades, and Greg High got him on the arm.
Well, you want to contest that shot. When a player fades away like that, you feel like you're going to be able to get it. You get your hand there, but that time Thomas Abercrombie just didn't create as much space as Greg High expected. Ends up smacking him on the arm.
Tom Abercrombie has scored consistently in double figures, which is a good sign this season. He had a little bit of inconsistency in the beginning, getting used to his surgically repaired leg. And he makes 2 and the line.
You can see the Breakers came out and wanted to get the ball to him. He hasn't been really involved offensively. Has had a couple looks, but mostly in transition.
Look out, Cedric Jackson again makes himself reacquainted with the scorer's bench.
They're gonna have to put some cushioning on the other side of that thing for him.
Redditch will inbound the ball. He's on 3 fouls. He started hot. He started aggressive for the Wildcats, but picking up that third, he had to take a seat and set up most of that first half. Martin to Redditch. Almost a travel. Higher. 5 to shoot inside to the dependable Matty Knight. Banging on Boucher. 2 to shoot. And Boucher will pick up the rebound.
Well, Matt Knight might have thought he had a mismatch when the shorter Boucher gets on, but Dylan Boucher is one of the most difficult post defenders in this league to score on. He's just so much stronger than he looks and really uses his body well.
Pledger, a wide open Tom Abercrombie, and then he picks up the offensive foul, just an ugly position, and Tom Abercrombie's talking to him and saying, mate, I was in the key, and Pledger just couldn't see him because he didn't have eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah, how about Matty Knight getting ready for the Oscars with a double flop? First one, Alex Pledger, a little bit of a touch. Oh my God, he's okay though. Gets up, I'll take the second one. A little bit of push off with Alex Pledger on that second one. I can understand that one a bit more. But Matty Knight, never one to not try and convince the referee of the charge call.
2 elbows do make a foul, it seems, in the NBL. Fair enough. Redditch got a block in that position too. Need to acknowledge that as Damian Martin, no one picked him up, and he just went straight to the hole.
Oh, it was pretty. Just flicks it up there, skying above the rim with the finger roll.
Pledger sets the screen as Jackson does the same, steps through the key and gets 2. Jackson with 18.
Anything you could do, I could do better.
Martin back, does he answer? No, he doesn't. Abercrombie pulls down the board. It's up and down at Vector to start the second half. Turnover. Martin with a steal. Abercrombie, only one back. Comes off Abercrombie's shoe. It's been a big night for Abercrombie's feet. Abercrombie with a trailer 3. A la Tony Ronaldson.
Not Tony Robbins.
No, not Tony Robbins. No motivational speech tonight.
That would have been a motivating shot, though.
You notice Tony Robbins has massive teeth. Anyway, back to the basketball.
Well, this pace is certainly picked up here. The Wildcats attacking in the transition game, finding a lot of success when they're in that transition and really trying to push the point here.
Pledger will take a seat as Hudson checks in for him. Will Hudson, the import. Matty Knight just gets great position and turns around and banks it over. Will Hudson.
Well, they're just too close to the basket. If you're going to post up inside the little charge circle there, Matt Knight will always be able to get that basket. Hudson has to do his work before he catches it to keep him off the block.
Very, very good inside scorer. And as I said earlier, very dependable for the Perth Wildcats. Corletto rattles in a deep 2.
Just gets his foot on the line.
Leads back to 12.
Sorry, Eddie.
Miscommunication from the commentators. That's okay. Boucher gets a rebound. Jackson putting the moves on Knight. Inside to Hudson. Fouled hard by Greg Hyde. That'll count. He'll go to the line.
Cedric Jackson on the skates and telling the crowd to get up. Shows the crossover. Hyde just comes across way too aggressively. You're not going to affect that shot. Sometimes you just have to lose the battle, try and win the war. He gets in way too late. Fouls him hard, sends him to the line for the free throw.
Dylan Boucher will take a seat as Mika Vukona checks back in. Mika Vukona has 3 fouls. And Hudson, can he convert the 3-point play opportunity? Too strong. Tursa with the rebound. No Cam Toby tonight for the Wildcats. Greg Hyde got the start. Martin. A sag off Damian Martin. Redditch a little bit too far out for him as Damian Martin way too aggressive trying to pull down that rebound. And Damian Martin picks up the personal foul.
Well, there's 2 point guards who love the basketball there, and Cedric Jackson skies for it. Damian Martin just couldn't get his hand in the right spot for that challenge. Ends up getting the arm, and Cedric Jackson lets the ref know about it. And Damian Martin doesn't want to get that foul, wants to save him for places that are a little bit more useful.
That was his first, but that is the Wildcats' 3rd team foul. It's Corletto. And we have an offensive foul. We're going back the other way, apparently.
I don't see what exactly he did from up here. Looked like 2 guys battling underneath the basket in a game like tonight where there's already so much contact. Pretty surprising that they make that call. But possibly on the replay, if you see that, you might see what he did there. But tough for for me to call.
60-46. Breakers with an unlikely 14-point lead over this Perth Wildcats team.
It does not feel like a 14-point game at all. Still feels like a nail-biter.
Matty Knight got a triple team as Redditch almost got a three-point play opportunity, but he will go to the line to shoot two.
Well, the Breakers, when the ball goes into Matt Knight, are just paying him so much attention. And it's not just, and there we see it, Daryl Hudson. Oh, Matt Knight just got up in the air a little bit of a shove. From that angle, you can see it, but great cut by Sean Redditch there, coming straight down the line. Matt Knight has been doing not only a good job as a scorer in the post tonight, but as a passer as well. When a double team comes, he's looking for the cutter and finding him with success.
Redditch misses the first. Sean Redditch came back from a spectacular hip injury. His femur went into his pelvis like it was bad.
It hurts me in that area when you just talk about it, but just really indicative of his effort levels, his work ethic, always going out there trying to outwork whoever he's playing against, and he did the same thing in his rehab.
Jackson had the shot altered by Redditch, who came skying through the keep. 60-47 though, the Breakers still have the ball, and they have 16 to shoot. Coming up on 4 minutes gone in the third. Henry inside to Hudson, good position, great position, but he blew the layup. Almost too good. He was right under the hoop.
Wide open, just couldn't get to the finish.
Martin. Redditch cuts into the post with Jackson on him. He finds a cutting Matty Knight, and Matty Knight will get two and a chance to go to the line.
Well, Matt Knight finally the recipient of the cutting passes. His taping stretches up a little bit. He's got to get it fixed, but pretty pass. Sean Redditch off balance, still able to drop the left-handed pass to Matt Knight as he hits the layup. Tape be damned, I'll still play.
Matty Knight has had so many problems, so many issues with that shoulder.
And that's the kind of injury that's always going to hurt you in basketball, because every time you're going up for a basket, somebody else's on defense hands are coming down, swiping at it, always knocking that shoulder out of place. So it's something that he's just going to have to deal with for quite a long time.
Another solid night for Matt Knight at the office, and he converts the three-point play, and the lead is back to 10. The Breakers had a 34-point second quarter to the Wildcats 18. Henry inside to Vicona. Bruton, why not? CJ Bruton has made a living from shots like that, but he could not get it this time. But the Breakers will have it, and Leon Henry, too strong, fights for the rebound, gets it back for Jackson. And CJ Bruton shoots it. CJ Bruton will always get it the second time in the possession.
Well, you can tell who the guys who think their shooters are. Those are the ones who get it and shoot right away after a miss, and CJ Bruton is one of those guys, getting it on the second opportunity.
He just had to swap sides. Purser inside to Redditch, faces the double team. Poked away and Purser swings it. Jackson again into the scorer's bench. Vicona. Bruton. Basket back-to-back for CJ Bruton.
And the defense did it. Fantastic hustle from Cedric Jackson, and Leon Henry creating that opportunity for CJ Bruton.
Redditch. Oh, was that a pass? Wow. That was an amazing pass from Sean Redditch to Matt Knight, who gets another three-point play opportunity.
Well, Sean Redditch has his eye out for Matt Knight right now. Not known as a passer normally. He's always been a guy who's wanted to shoot the basketball, but right now creates a nice play. Cedric Jackson with another out-of-bounds save with a little bit of a leg kick. Gets to Leon Henry, who gets to Mika Vicona, who gets to CJ Bruton for that three-point bomb. And then Sean Redditch with the pretty pass.
That is beautiful basketball. All right, let's go down to Dennis, where's David Dome, the CEO of the Wellington Phoenix.
David, General Manager of the Wellington Phoenix, look, welcome to Auckland. You must be really, really excited, particularly with this marketing campaign, having a double header with the Breakers. You're taking on Perth Glory tomorrow at Eden Park.
Yeah, it's been fantastic working with Richard Clark and his team with double header. With both teams facing Perth this weekend, we had a little double header. People from the Breakers have bought our tickets, and our fans, some of them are up here, have bought tickets for this game. It's been really good.
Now, something we were talking about before we came on air is you'd like a little bit more synergy with the Breakers, perhaps.
Yeah, no doubt. We're looking at doing more joint exercises with them, and maybe the Warriors as well. There's no doubt, you know, New Zealand teams playing Australian competition. Why can't we work closer together?
And tomorrow against Perth Glory, big game. How the boys feeling? What's their intention going out there?
They really are hyped up for. They really get up for. They know that we've got to win that game. I think Ricky's going to ring a few changes in the team, so interesting to see how that turns out. But no, they're really looking forward to it, and they're up for it.
And any plans to start taking the Phoenix on the road, perhaps? We miss you guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. Well, we're playing Eden Park this weekend. We get a good crowd. We might come back again, and there's no doubt we want to be in other cities around New Zealand as well, if it permits it.
All right, well, best of luck for tomorrow. Cheers, David. Good to see you again too, by the way.
Thanks, Dennis.
David Dome, General Manager of the Wellington Phoenix, playing the Perth Glory.
Well, it's just New Zealand Perth weekend.
It certainly is, as Matty Knight gets the roll on the free throw. And Matty Knight, just like that, has 14 points. Perth are back in this. 66-53, but they're having their way in the third quarter.
Well, they're going to have to create some opportunities with defense. They're going to have to force the Breakers to turn over the basketball, and they're going to have to get back on the offensive glass.
And there you go. They turn over the basketball, and then the Breakers get it back. Hustle basketball right now. Cedric Jackson just says, calm it down.
And the Wildcats banking that this lineup can't hit the three ball, sitting in a bit of a zone, trying to force the Breakers to shoot it from the outside.
7 to shoot. Bruton to a cutting Hudson. And he's fouled.
Hudson just a little bit upset about his inability to finish his last couple of opportunities, but gets fouled on that one, so gets to the free throw line, and CJ Bruton goes up. Look at that. It looks like a shot. It looks like a shot. I'll pass it. Last second, gives it up. Hudson gets fouled on the layup attempt. And although he's a little upset about the miss, he still has a chance to make up for it with free throws.
Jesse Wagstaff picks up the personal foul as Hudson prepares to shoot his first. Good beard.
Quality beard. Breaking Amish, I think.
Yeah. Gets the roll at Victor, does Will Hudson. Former Gold Coast Blaze, and played the Perth Wildcats in the other semi-final series last season. Bartlett to Wagstaff. Jesse Wagstaff. You cannot leave him open. He is an athlete, and he can shoot it. And he is 3 for 3 from deep.
And boy, do the Perth Wildcats need that.
Speaking of people you can't leave open in the corner, Leon Henry, his consistency has come to the fore for the Breakers.
As good as it's been in the half court, the transition defense has let the Wildcats down. That time, Leon Henry by himself in the corner.
Leon Henry has 6. Wagstaff has 9. The Breakers are enjoying a 15-point lead. Matty Knight face up on Hudson, too strong, and Cedric Jackson will take a seat, as will Mika Vakona, and then will come Corey Webster. We've got some minutes in the first half. And Dylan Boucher.
Wouldn't be surprised if the Wildcats really try and pressure Corey Webster here, coming off fresh out of the game.
Webster, yep, he gets a double team at half court. Managed to get around it. Martin on him. That is a tough assignment for Corey Webster. He gets into the key and puts up the right-hand shot. Corey Webster, he can score in bunches, and the Breakers would like him to do more of it. They come into the second half of the season. Redditch fighting hard. Throws it away to Wagstaff, who saves it. Tipped by Webster.
Defense.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Bartlett. Redditch lost the handle as CJ Bruton is fouled by Redditch, and that will be number 4 for Sean Redditch.
That's not something you want for the Wildcats. one of their more aggressive scorers. Sean Reddick wants to stay in the game. Doesn't want to come out. He's a little perturbed by that substitution, but can't leave a guy in there with 4 fouls, 12 minutes to go. You don't be mad at somebody, you got to be mad at yourself. Shouldn't have got that foul 90 feet from the basket.
Pledger back in the game is 4 points, 0 rebounds.
He's really struggled to rebound against this Wildcat team. Just can't seem to find that space around the basket that he normally does against most of the teams in this league.
Bruton makes the first. CJ Bruton, he has 11. Makes the second. Wes Carter checks in for Perth, and the Breakers have a 19-point lead. 2:15 to go on the third.
It just does not feel like a 19-point lead. This crowd is just still really into it. The Wildcats playing hard, but the Breakers just pull it away.
Jeremiah Truman and his shoes that a lot of highlighters died for get 2 points down low.
And the fadeaway hook shot again.
It's his patent move.
He just makes it look so much harder than it is. He's still going in.
Webster, he's 3 of 3 from the floor. Double teamed again. 7 to shoot. Henry on the weak side. Boucher with the board. Breakers enjoying an advantage on the rebounds for the first time in the game. 22 to 20. And they've evened up the offensive glass as well, 8 apiece. Bruton and Lish gets him in the air. Does Bruton. Savvy move again from CJ Bruton.
Well, he just attacks the defender until he gets him in a position of weakness, and then puts the up fake in there for good measure. Gets Kevin Lish off his feet that time. Just look at the move, little hesitation there. Spin move, gives you the up fake. Kevin Lish just leans a little bit too much, trying to convince the ref he was straight up, but just not straight up enough.
Bruton makes the second. The Breakers shooting the lights out, 15 of 19 from the free throw line. CJ Bruton has 7 of 8. 8 of 9, 37 years old. He's dialed in for the end of the season. Another championship run for CJ Bruton and the Breakers, the Perth Wildcats. They'd love to finish their season early. Lish can't get the roll. Webster drives hard, and he's fouled as he drove.
A lot of opportunities for the Breakers in this transition game. Just seem to have found a weakness in the Perth defense. They're just not able to get set quickly enough. Trying to put some pressure up the floor. And the Breakers are getting so many opportunities in that transition game. This time free throws for Corey Webster.
Another free throw for the Breakers. 17 of 21. Perth just 6 of 8. Another one for Webster. He's having a good night. It's Corey Webster. He's got 9 points. Lead is 21. Perth are up 46 in the season series as Lish front rims it. Starting to pull short a little bit. As Wagstaff goes down. Poked away by Wagstaff. Lish has it. Boucher back. Jumps into Boucher, does Lish, and can't get it. And Kevin Lish has gone a bit cold in the third quarter.
Yeah, he has not been able to score here in the second half. Has had a couple of good looks, but can't find the bottom of the net.
This deep bench of the Breakers coming to the fore in the third quarter. Webster splits the double team around Wagstaff, and he'll go to the line again, and Jesse Wagstaff picks up another personal foul. And that will be number 4, I believe, on him.
And the bench contributions from the Breakers tonight have just been so valuable. Big games from Leon Henry, Corey Webster, CJ Bruton, and Dylan Boucher. Now, Hudson once again coming in as we see Corey Webster not being able to get the finish, but goes to the line anyway. But the bench really getting it going for the Breakers tonight. What possibly the difference in this game?
And just while Corey Webster shoots and makes the first, let's talk about the retirement of Glenn Saville from the Wollongong Hawks, who just literally, I won't say can't catch a break, they just had lots of breaks to their roster, and Glenn Saville, a veteran, is retired due to a knee injury.
Yeah, just so sad to see Savvy go out like that. I had the pleasure of playing with him for a year in Wollongong, and fantastic teammate. Not a bad cook. If he cooks the tacos, that's pretty much the only thing in his repertoire. But good guy, always fun to play with, and just such a competitor. One of those guys that you just did not like playing against. He put everything on out there on the court, and the Wollongong Hawks seems like they crossed the path of a black cat at the same time they walked underneath a ladder and broke a mirror at the same time, because things have been going badly for them on the injury front.
As we said earlier, when they came to town, Reece Martin and Lance Hurdle out for the season with injuries. Glenn Saville as well. Wagstaff makes the first.
The good news for Savvy is, though, he has time to concentrate on his music career now.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's quite the guitar player. Much like David Brent, he always has it in the car.
Wagstaff makes the second of 3. He got fouled on the three-point line by Webster, and he makes all 3. Lead is 20. With just 5 seconds to go in the third quarter as Webster puts it up. And the third quarter is over, and the Breakers are enjoying a healthy advantage. They have 81 after 3 on one of the stingiest defenses in the league. Breakers in control, 81-61. And here is your Starship Zone family. The Woon family from Hawke's Bay, Adam and his brother Bradley is in Starship. Alan is the uncle, and the Holtapu family from Palmerston North as well. Fletcher and sister Quinn is in Starship. And James is the dad. It's great to have you guys here at the Breakers enjoying Vector Arena. Hi Brad and hi Quinn, great to see you. My mum's crazy. Uh-oh, oh dear. I think you just got in trouble.
Say what you really mean, young fella. Say what you really mean.
My mum's crazy. Brilliant. Man, we've seen it all tonight at Victor Arena. A marriage proposal and accusations by kids against their parents.
Get it all and not out of Vector.
Some good plays against this is some 2 down and some thumb side. All right, 2 down and thumb side. So set that first one, he comes after you, and you go. 2 down, here, flash, hit this, we go, we get handoff, we get dribble handoff. Continue to be aggressive at the basket. Great job on the offensive boards, great job on the offensive boards. Keep coming up with that stuff. Good job. It's all about defense now. It's all about defense, rebounding, protecting the 3-point line, and being aggressive offensively. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Watch out, this one.
The Perth Wildcats are in foul trouble, as you can see on the screen there. Redditch and Wagstaff with 4, Jeremiah and High with 3 each. That is the front line, is Matty Knight, the only one who really isn't in any kind of foul trouble at the moment.
Well, it's a product of 2 things. One, how hard the Wildcats play defensively. They're always out there. They've got their hands in. They're willing to get the fouls. But tonight, the Breakers have been very aggressive on the offensive end since following the first quarter, where they just couldn't find a bucket. But those 2 things together have put the Wildcats in foul trouble.
And CJ Bruton just quickly in that third quarter. He needed 14 points to pass Aaron Olsen's 1,800 for the club. And he has done that to become the 2nd all-time leading scorer for the franchise. Kirk Penny got 2,517 points in 3 games. Well, a few more than that, but it felt like it. He is a flat-out shooter. And Tom Abercrombie can hit the long ball as well.
Finding the range, Thomas Abercrombie. And the Breakers doing a good job on the inside-out game, attacking the basket, kicking it up for the shooter.
84-61. Reese Carter, he's going 0 for on the night, 0 for 4. The Breakers pulling down the boards. 27-20 is the advantage. And the rebounds. Look at Vacona, 2nd leading assist man on the team to the 1st leading assist man. And Cedric Jackson missed everything. Knight ahead. Redditch. Layup is good.
Well, those two are working so nicely together. Both looking for each other at all times as Reese Carter gets a quick steal.
Good work from Carter as Redditch across the lane, and that doesn't drop. That's a tough shot going away from the hoop. And Jackson just toying with the Wildcats at the moment. He gets into the lane, puts it up off the glass, and it's stuck between the rim and the backboard.
He just wants to fool everybody. I'm thinking he did it on purpose to get Redditch and Mikita just to jump for it without it coming down. But had that ball on a string, circling around, spins a couple of times, clever little up and under. How does the ball get stuck there? That is an amazing way for the ball to get stuck in that position. Hits the front of the rim, and somehow the touch is so soft it still squeezes in between. Uncommon.
Especially on that type of shot as well. Usually maybe it's just a badly taken jumper that just it's wedged in there.
The wedge, you understand the wedge because it's almost like you're hammering it in, but this one,
yeah,
nice and soft on the finger roll, hits the front of the rim and somehow just squeezes its way in there.
Dropping a cinder block from high up. But yeah, it got wedged, but the Breakers will have it. Fresh 24, 8:35 to go in the game. 84-63. Hudson, Jackson, Vacona, Corletto, and Abercrombie on the court for the Breakers. It's Carter and Lish, Redditch, Knight, and Bartlett with a 2-3 zone. Hudson. Knight with the board.
Well, Hudson's doing the work down low. Has an excellent seal, really positioned himself well, just can't find the basket.
This is a win the Breakers really needed, whether they said they wanted it or not. They really needed to get separation in the win-loss column because these two teams are clear front-runners in the NBL for 2013.
Well, if the Breakers didn't get this win, you could have really written it home and said that the Wildcats would have gotten that spot as Daryl Corletto tries to force that one through, but Breakers just showed up to play tonight and from the second quarter on have just dominated.
Knight, no good. Redditch, no good. Jackson, crossover. Everyone's on the floor. Look away to Vacona, and Lish is on the ground. And Lish and Corletto tested everything in the backcourt.
Mika Vacona. Cedric Jackson, looks like everybody had something to say to him when he was on the ground.
This is Wildcats Breakers basketball. Physical in the fourth. The Breakers are handing them a beating at the moment. They've suffered two big ones at the hands of this very team at the beginning of the season.
And right now for the Breakers, what they're trying to do is pound the Wildcats. They don't want the Wildcats to think those early season victories meant anything.
Well, you just have to remember the first game of the season was at North Shore Event Centre between these two teams, and Perth did not run the bench. They just rammed it down the throat of the Breakers when they unveiled their banner before the game.
You're absolutely right. And when these two teams meet, it's not just this game that's on the line, as we see Cedric Jackson with a pretty no-look pass, smashes over Kevin Lish. Daryl Corletto has a little something to say. I don't know why no whistle blown there. I love it. Just get into it.
It's like
it's good.
Two nice brothers fighting. You don't see it from those two. People may disagree about Kevin Lish.
I don't know. I don't care what these coaches, these players, anybody else says. These teams may respect each other, but they do not like each other. And they want to beat the other, and they take pleasure in demolishing the other team.
Foul call is... Totally agree with you, Casey. Rob Beveridge is probably more honest and frank about the attitude of the Wildcats and how they just don't like the Breakers, especially the now gone Gary Wilkinson. He really wound up Wildcats fans. It was fun to watch if you weren't a Wildcats fan. They hated the way he celebrated. They found it offensive at times. They made it known, especially leading up in the grand final series.
It's great. These games are great.
It is great. Great defense inside as Carter hits a three. Reese Carter gets his first bucket of the game.
Finally able to find the range. Had a few looks at it, just struggled up until that point, but gets the three to go that time.
88-68. 6-9, 6:09 to go, I should say, as Jackson. He can't get it to drop, but he is fouled. He will go to the line.
That crossover is just unfair. It's so quick. It's so quick. The crowd didn't even understand what was going on, but had the mismatch. Saw Jeremiah Truman and the bright shoes on him. Gives him the 1-2 crossover straight to the hoop.
Jackson, check it out here. The crossover on Jeremiah Truman.
Just creates that space. Draws the contact, goes to the line again, where he's been moderately successful tonight.
Front room's the first 18 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and 5 steals. So Cedric Jackson.
Quadruple double alert.
Yeah, hinting at a triple double. If he can get 5 steals in 6 minutes and 7 seconds, that would be amazing to go along with another assist and 4 rebounds.
And as of now, it doesn't look like Andre Lamanis is clearing out that bench anytime soon. 6 minutes, 21-point ball game. Still has the majority of the starters in there.
Perth go home and they face Wollongong on the weekend. Carter threw it at Jeremiah Truman's knees and he couldn't corral the hard pass. So 89-68 is the 21-point advantage for the Breakers. It's not as close as this Victor crowd, I imagine, expected between these two teams. As Alex Pledger gets the friendly roll, a lot of people banding around single-digit margins for the result. Right now, the Breakers enjoying a big lead.
Now, apparently, they're saving the close games for the finals, because right now, these two teams can't really get a whiff of each other in the regular season.
Everard Bartlett checks in for Kevin Lish, and Daryl Corletto, player of the round, just been, stays on court, man. The Breakers in this rhythm, Casey, heading towards win number 10. If indeed it all goes to plan with 5:13 to go in the fourth quarter. Bartlett, the runner, tipped out by Wagstaff.
And that's the first offensive rebound by this Perth Wildcats side in some time.
Wagstaff, though, higher, back to Wagstaff, gets Pledger up in the air, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Yes, the Breakers just steaming along in the NBL, taking care of their grand final opponents from last season, and the Breakers really, I mean, they're in a rhythm. We talked about it with Andre Lamanis before the game. And they are in a rhythm because they get to play on a regular basis for the NBL schedule.
Yeah, the way the schedule works, they pretty much have 1 game a week, maybe 2 at some point, but they've really found their form at the right time, because you got to see a lot of this streak was created when they weren't shooting the ball particularly well, but now they've found that range, and this is the kind of offensive explosion that we're seeing from it. 90 points with 5 minutes left to go.
On the Perth Wildcats.
Exactly.
You want a post up or a post flash? Okay, for JP, that's you. No illegal screens here. Okay? There, so have a look at that. Okay, you've got to play with the swagger out there. Now defensively, okay, we're 12 to 2 now. We're 12 to 2. But we've got to stop the penetration and the kick. Okay, so you're at the top, you don't gamble. I want to shoot over ahead, but I don't want us getting in foul trouble on penetration.
Yeah, the Perth Wildcats
back to this corner guy who's going to look to post up Chief.
staring down a big deficit. Is Will Hudson doing work on the glass?
Well, he's the garbage man. He's always around the basket, always got his hands up in the right spot. And if he's more than 6 feet away from the basket, I'd be surprised, because he's just always down there, getting hit, putting his body on the line. Did an excellent job for the boards tonight for the Breakers. Scoring well, hasn't been able to finish quite as well as he'd probably liked. But really, just that blue-collar guy, another one of those blue-collar guys that you need. The Breakers seem to have a plethora of them. And you can't have enough of the guys who put the team above themselves. Hudson tonight, 11 points, 6 rebounds. One of those nights, pretty much that's what you expect from him. He comes out, gives you what he needs every night.
And just his second professional season, his first was at Gold Coast, and for an import who's just making his way in the professional game, to come off the bench and accept this role as a blue-collar worker. He's got excellent spacing, good awareness, good defense as well. Something that they wanted to shore up, tighten up, as they made another run for a championship in 2013. Just on Perth's points allowed average, 68 for the season, the best in the NBL, and they're leaking 91 to a high-powered offense in sync at Vector.
Thank you for coming.
And the energy sucked out of the building a little bit with 4.5 to go. Not quite as exciting as it was a little bit earlier.
Bartlett. Everard Bartlett, one-time breaker, won the dunk comp.
Tough to do as a developmental player, but he still found a way.
Higher bails him out. Higher. Gives it to Truman. Is that that same shot?
That is, I'm pretty sure his move right now is spin around and toss up a hook shot. And he's got it down pat.
19-point lead. The Breakers are enjoying. Jackson, wide open. Nails the three.
4 for 6 from three-point range on the night. He is on fire.
In fuego.
In fuego in Espanol.
Not quite as on fire as Daryl called that at the start of the game against Sydney, but with 22 points, 7 of 12. He's got 9 assists still, 6 rebounds.
Just picked up his 7th there. Really flirting with that triple-double once again. Just a do-it-all player.
Sign.
Our Beveridge always coaching, keeping the guys, sticking to the game plan.
He's still bringing in the starters. Matty Knight and Damian Martin check in.
Well, fair enough. The Breakers haven't taken theirs out yet. Get those guys a little bit more run. Cedric Jackson. Mad at that ball going in. He's mad at it.
Redditch checks back in. Wagstaff will take a seat. So starting fives, except for Corey Webster for the Breakers. And starting 5, except for Everard Bartlett for the Wildcats. Pledger, strong. Had to have the shot altered, and he just loses the ball. It's not been a good night for Alex Pledger down low. And Redditch couldn't connect with Matty Knight again in the key. The Breakers will have it. 3:05 left in this game. So the Breakers will move with a win. That does happen, and it's very likely that it will, to 18-3. Is Jackson, is he feeling it? No, he's not. There's a heat check there.
Well, he was feeling it, but apparently the shot wasn't.
That's true. Martin gives it tonight. And Perth will drop to 13-5. Bartlett gets a deep 2.
Interesting to see how this game works out for both these teams. Perth Wildcats gonna have to bounce back now. A little bit of a confidence hit for them, and the Breakers in the middle of this 10-game winning streak. Is there such a thing as getting too hot too soon? Still got 8 games or 7 games left in the regular season for them.
Webster dials it in from deep. Bangs in a triple. Corey Webster's had a good game. He's come off the bench. He shot 4 of 5, and he has 14 points.
And really just getting into his own now after having to spend so much time away from the game of basketball. And you can see he's really found his rhythm.
Easily a season high for Corey Webster as Greg Hire drills a 3. And we have subs coming in for both teams. So Purser and Knight, Martin, Bartlett and Redditch for the Wildcats. Vicona, Webster, Corletto, Abercrombie and Hudson for the Breakers with under 2 to go at Victor Arena.
Cedric Jackson gets a nice little round of applause from the fans as he heads to the bench after another stellar performance.
A double-double, 22 and 10 for him. 3 shy of a triple-double in rebounds. Foul down low. It might be on Damian Martin. Maybe on Matty Knight. In fact, picks up that personal foul.
Cedric Jackson putting his hand up early for that Player of the Week honor.
And we have a Ruben Tarangi sighting for the Breakers. Exciting young player. He's checking in for Tom Abercrombie.
Super athlete, Ruben Tarangi, but what always impressed me about him is he still found a way to develop that jump shot at such a young age. Most young guys, like for instance me when I was young, all I wanted to do was dunk. And if I had his athleticism, that's all I would have tried to do. But this kid still found a way to work on the jump shot.
Is that being called coachable?
Yeah, I don't know what that word is. I was never good at it.
Vicona makes the second. Breakers too shy of cracking 100. If my memory serves me correct, it's the first time this season they'll break 100, and it's against the Perth Wildcats, who allow only 68 points a game.
Yeah, this is a real confidence boost for the Breakers to be able to come out and be so dominant. It's a high-quality side, and tonight the Breakers have put their stamp on this league and said, well, if this is the second-best team, they've still got a ways to go.
They were so motivated coming in the first game of the season. You can understand why. They won the championship in 2010. And they've had an amazing run in the playoffs. Coming up from almost 30 years, the Perth Wildcats.
That's 30 years of excellence, that's not bad.
That is amazing. What a franchise the Perth Wildcats are. The consistency is exceptional considering the forms of this NBL. What it's going through is Tarangi. Gives it to Webster. This is his career high of 14. Shakes and bakes and misses the jump shot, but Mika Vakona gives it straight back to him. 65 seconds to go in this game. Can they crack 100? Not on this possession.
They just don't want the crowd to get excited. They want to keep the crowd nice and calm as they exit the arena.
It may not happen. They may just stay on 98. The Martin and the Wildcats get an offensive rebound. They may just dribble it out. Get a couple of offensive rebounds. Could be it. 98, 79. Purser, ball on the floor. Up over Tarangi, banks it in. 81 for the Wildcats. 41.3 seconds to go as Corletto gives it to Webster. Winding down the shot clock. Over comes Vakona. Webster to Corletto. 7 to shoot. Tarangi. Had it bobble. Webster. Vakona. And it doesn't look like it. The Breakers may just stay on 98.
It's just not going to happen.
The step back with 5 seconds on the clock. They want it. Corletto, he wants to put it up. It's no good, and the Breakers have done a job on the Perth Wildcats. They've returned the favour somewhat for the 2 beatings they suffered in the first half of the season, and they run out victors tonight at Vector Arena in front of a sellout. It's a big win as well. The Breakers win 98-81.
And just a total performance. Not only did they play as well as they did, but they had to fight through a bit of adversity earlier in the game. Came out with some hot shooting Perth Wildcats. Just kept plugging along and were able to find a way to get the offense going. And once it went, boy, did it go.
It certainly did. Contributions tonight, apart from Cedric Jackson's double-double of 22 and 10 assists. With 11 from Hudson, 14 off the bench for Corey Webster, and Tom Abercrombie with 12. And CJ Bruton, he had 14 himself off the bench, and he's with Dennis.
CJ, another record for the Breakers. The milestones just keep coming. 10 consecutive wins and a big, big margin against your arch rivals, the Perth Wildcats. Breakers flying high right now. You must be so happy.
Definitely happy. Obviously, we put in a lot of work over the time, and from the start of the year till now, we're working on our chemistry. We worked on a lot of different things. We put a few things in place, and we started to come good.
I know Coach Lamana said, look, it's just another game in the regular season, but there was something a bit more in this one, wasn't there?
Hey, you're taking an ass whooping 2 times. But at the end of the day, it was just another game. But from where we were at the start of the year to where we are now, you've seen the improvements. Go back and watch the tape. So it was another game because it's only one in the regular season. But it's something that, you know, every game we want to win, and that's why we play.
In terms of momentum, looking ahead to the playoffs, the boys mentioned in commentary, 10 wins in a row, peaking a bit early. How do you feel?
Definitely not peaking. We ain't even know where we need to be right now. Obviously, we still have our lapses like every team. But at the end of the day, we've still been able to come away with wins because of our defense is held strong. Again, they're a great offensive rebound team. They run in transition. They score a lot of points in transition. I think we did a great job overall. And most importantly, our fans come out and they deserve to see something like this from our players after the way we've played all season long. So thank the fans for coming out and all you for watching. Thank you.
I know they'll be very happy with you. Thanks, CJ, and good luck against Sydney.
Thanks, man.
CJ Bruton doing it, no matter how old he is, especially on the break. Got that three-point shot going. Showed a little bit of the full arsenal tonight. Had a little bit of crossover here and there, but where he likes to be is beyond that three-point arc, slinging it till it goes in.
All right, let's go down to Dennis again, who has Matty night.
Matt, when you and the Breakers get together, it's just a clash of the Titans. The last two heavily in your favour, this one heavily in the Breakers. What went wrong tonight?
They just got too physical with us and we didn't match it with them. They got a run, we couldn't stop it, and yeah, they're a tough team here in Vector, and they got 3 on us here, so it's going to be a tough series. They're going to come back to our place. Hopefully game 4's in our favour.
After the first quarter, though, you must have thought, oh, we're doing this again.
I know, but we've seen them over the last few weeks, and they've been down 15, 20 points at half-time, so no matter how far they're down, we knew we were in for a dogfight, and unfortunately we couldn't keep that lead. They made a run and just kept making that run, and we couldn't stop it.
Looking at regrouping against the Hawks, it's a big celebration for you guys, celebrating 30 years, so obviously you want to turn things around back home on the weekend.
Oh, definitely. We've got all our legends coming in to watch us play, so we need to put in a better performance than that, and we're back in front of our home crowd, so hopefully put on a better show.
All right, Matt, well, best of luck.
Thank you.
Friendly guy, Matt Knight, just out there. Let him know, but he wasn't friendly on the court, especially early. Showed the full repertoire, the passing ability, the finishing around the basket, has the ability to go either way. And he talked about the Breakers being physical, but he is as physical a player as there is in this league. Always on the glass, always putting his face in there, getting that contact, trying to get the basketball. Was able to score a lot, but as the night wore on, just didn't have enough to dent in that Breaker lead.
Matty Knight, hard work, and the Breakers have an unprecedented 8-day rest before they play Sydney in Sydney, and those are the top scorers for the game. 5 players in double figures for the Breakers, and Knight and Wagstaff and Redditch in double figures for the Wildcats.
Well, just a total team performance once again from the Breakers. Lots of sharing of the basketball, but Cedric Jackson, the star that shined brightest on tonight's evening.
Absolutely, Daryl Corletto, he had 8. He was 2 of 4 from deep. He had those 8 points. Quiet night for him, considering what he's been up to the last round, but Tom Abercrombie and the New Zealand Breakers in recovery mode after they dealt to the Perth Wildcats 98-81 at Vector.